The real-life Batman, Armenian Bruce Wayne. When you think of martial artists and their nicknames, you think of intimidating phrases like the Bull or the Axe Murderer. If we're being real, nobody really thinks to consult a comic book for MMA names, right? Well, thanks to Arman Tsarukyan, that record is officially broken. Just like our comic book superhero lives a dedicated life to fighting crime and purging Gotham City of criminals, Arman shares the same vision. Only that in the place of criminals, Arman chooses to beat up his colleagues at work, literally. But is this all that connects the UFC big name to the action figure that dominated our childhood? Or is there a much deeper reason as to why fans have dubbed him the real-life Batman? In today's video, we'll be digging into his life and personality to find answers to these questions. But first, let's get into Arman Tsarukyan's life in the cage so far. No doubt, Arman is one of the top fighters in the UFC. This Armenian-Russian fighter transformed from a small-town kid with big dreams into a lightweight contender with a professional record that would make even the real Bruce Wayne raise an eyebrow. From the moment he turned pro, Arman has not failed to show why he deserves a spot on the list of tough martial artists. Just like Batman gave a sound beating to the first criminal he encountered, Arman didn't fail to replicate this during his debut in 2015. The fight, dubbed Assault Knights of Spassk, was against Shamil Olikhanov. Arman won the fight in the first round by technical knockout, giving him a fierce start to his career. However, things have not always been this rosy for the honorary superhero as far as career is concerned. In his next fight, he was reminded why every hero has a weakness. Just like Batman, Arman was reminded of just how vulnerable he was without superpowers. He was defeated by Russian Alexander Belik, who also knocked him out in the first round. You would think Alexander was trying to avenge Shamil's defeat, the way he sent Arman sprawling on the canvas. Nevertheless, Arman dusted himself off and went on to win all of his next 12 fights. Interestingly, Alexander Belik was one of those he thrashed in a first-round submission victory. Nothing says, "I'm back," quite like defeating the person who knocked you out in your second fight. At this point, it seems the best way to escape a thorough thrashing from Arman is by doing one thing: making it past the first round. Throughout this incredible winning streak, it became hard to ignore Arman's amazing grappling skills and striking prowess against various opponents. He became known for his relentless pace and ability to adapt during fights, traits that would make any superhero proud. Anyway, with a 13-1 record, Arman Tsarukyan eventually signed a 4-fight contract with Ultimate Fighting Championship. For his debut, he was billed to face Islam Makhachev. This fight proved to be one of the toughest in Arman's career. Just think of a showdown between Batman and Superman. We're sure you're not imagining an easy fight, right? It was a tough bout for Arman, considering that Islam was a veteran where he, Arman, was just getting into the game. At the start of the first round, both fighters seemed to outdo the other. Arman attempting some impressive takedowns that left us wondering if Islam had finally found his match. However, the latter refused to go down that easily and twisted himself out of the position after a while. The second round didn't prove any easier, although Arman's knack for precise kicks came in handy. Unfortunately, they weren't enough to secure him a win. But despite losing via unanimous decision, Arman undoubtedly showcased his high-level wrestling skills. In fact, his opponent acknowledged that Arman was a tough opponent and that the fight was the toughest he had had in his career. For his performance, Arman earned himself a Fight of the Night bonus. Yeah, it was like losing a battle, but winning the war for respect. In his next fight, Arman faced Canadian Olivier Aubin-Mercier in front of a massive crowd in Mercier's hometown. As daunting as it was, Arman was no stranger to such intimidation, having faced tougher opponents in the past. From the start, Tsarukyan displayed incredible striking skills, landing 47 significant strikes compared to Aubin-Mercier's 23 strikes. Despite Aubin-Mercier's strong judo background, he struggled to execute takedowns, finishing with 0% success rate on his attempts. Tsarukyan capitalized on this, showcasing his grappling prowess with 2 successful takedowns out of 11 attempts. In the opening round, Arman effectively utilized takedowns to control the pace and position throughout the match. He demonstrated excellent footwork and striking, keeping Arman Mercier at bay while landing significant strikes. Arman Mercier, known for his grappling skills, attempted to counter with submissions and clinch work. However, Arman's defensive tactics neutralized these efforts, and in the second round, a pivotal moment occurred when Arman capitalized on a takedown opportunity, despite a controversial fence grab that went unpenalized. As the fight progressed into the final round, Arman continued to maintain his momentum, executing precise strikes and avoiding Arman Mercier's attempts to close the distance. His ability to adapt mid-fight allowed him to dictate the rhythm and maintain control. Eventually, he won by unanimous decision, securing his first win within the octagon. After that win, Arman didn't just sit back and rest on his laurels. He got back to work, racking up victories against other fighters like Davi Ramos, also by unanimous decision. And let's not forget about his explosive finishes against Matt Frivola and Christos Giagos, where he earned Performance of the Night bonuses for both fights. It was as if he had decided that winning wasn't enough. He wanted to do it in style. To be honest, we can't blame him. One of his most memorable performances came on February 26, 2022, when he faced Joel Alvarez. In this fight, Tsarukyan unleashed his ground and pound skills like they were going out of style, securing a TKO victory in the second round. The crowd went wild. It was like watching a superhero take down the villain while everyone cheered from the sidelines. But again, it wasn't all smooth sailing for our hero. On June 25, 2022, he faced Mateusz Gamrot in what turned out to be another nail-biter of a match. Though he lost via unanimous decision again, both fighters received Fight of the Night honors, a testament to their skill and determination. It's like they were both Batman and Joker at once, rivals who can't help but to put on an incredible show. And if that wasn't enough drama for one fighter's career, Tsarukyan faced Amir Ismagulov on December 17, 2022. This time around, Arman emerged victorious by unanimous decision. You could almost hear the crowd chanting, "He's back!" as he secured another win under his belt. Most recently, on December 2, 2023, Tsarukyan faced Beneil Dariush in what many considered to be one of his most significant fights yet. With the stakes higher than ever, Arman delivered an impressive first-round KO victory that left fans buzzing with excitement. Not only did he win the fight, but also snagged another Performance of the Night bonus, his third in the UFC. At this point, it's safe to say that Arman is collecting bonuses like Batman collects gadgets. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate some of the awards and accolades this fighter has achieved throughout his career. Tsarukyan has earned Fight of the Night honors twice, once against Makhachev and once against Gamrot, proving he knows how to put on a show when it counts. He also has multiple Performance of the Night bonuses under his belt for his spectacular finishes against Gallegos, Alvarez, and Dariush. But wait, there's more. Outside of MMA competitions, Arman has also made waves in grappling tournaments. He recently won Expert Middleweight Division at Naga Los Angeles by submitting all three opponents. Talk about versatility. It seems our real-life Batman doesn't just excel in striking. He can also grapple like there's no tomorrow. This brings us to the topic of Arman's Batman nickname, Armenian Bruce Wayne. In 2025, Arman was billed to fight current champion Islam Makhachev in UFC 311. Ahead of the fight, news about Arman's wealthy background began to circulate. It turns out that Arman didn't just have the usual grass-to-grace story that most athletes have. Nah, his story has always revolved around affluence. And thankfully, he's honest enough to admit this. Born October 11, 1996, Arman grew up in a family that was no stranger to wealth. His father is a successful businessman involved in the construction industry. However, Arman showed from a young age that his interests were miles away from the family business. His love for sports was never in doubt, with the way he threw himself into different sports, freestyle wrestling, and later hockey, which he played for 10 years before finally settling on martial arts. This caused many to wonder why the UFC athlete chose to throw himself into such rigorous sports, despite having access to easy career opportunities. The news that Arman was from a wealthy family made fans draw a connection between his story and that of Batman, who also chose to become a hero despite being a billionaire philanthropist. Interestingly, the Armenian athlete seems to be cool with the name. I mean, who wouldn't? When he was asked for comments on the nickname, he admitted that his background and that of the DC superhero are kind of similar. Only that he'll have to make time to help people the way Batman does. Well, we hope so too. How nice it'll be if you can also enlist a UFC fighter's help when you're in trouble. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching the video to the end. If you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel to enjoy more similar content. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the impressive career of Arman Tsarukyan in the comments. And until next time, keep those gloves up.